All right, let's talk about Italian wine. But today, we're going to skip the famous regions you already know. We're uncorking a story from a part of the Italian wine world that, honestly, most people just miss. We are taking a trip to Molise, a real hidden gem that's just waiting for its moment in the spotlight. So let me just start with a question for you. What if I told you that Italy's next great wine region was one you've probably never even heard of? A place that's just been flying completely under the radar. Well, that's exactly the mystery and the promise we're getting into today. So let's officially say hello to Molise. This place is tucked away between the dramatic Apennine Mountains on one side and the beautiful Adriatic coast on the other. It gets overlooked all the time, but you know what? For anyone who's looking for a truly authentic Italian wine experience, away from all the tourist traps, Molise is it. It's a land of rolling hills, deep, deep history, and just incredible potential. So what exactly makes this place Italy's best-kept secret? Well, for starters, it has these deep, ancient roots. The story of wine here didn't just begin yesterday. We're talking about a history that goes back centuries, even before the Romans showed up. It's a really long but quiet history. I mean, winemaking was already a big deal here with the pre-Roman Samnites. It thrived under the Romans along their major trade routes, and then during the Middle Ages, it was the monasteries that kept those techniques alive. But for centuries, the wine was mostly just made for the locals. It's really only been in the last few decades that a new generation has started to focus on quality. And that's sparked the huge rediscovery that we're seeing right now. Okay, now let's get into the land itself, because to really get Molise wine, you have to understand the two powerful forces that shape its terroir, the sea and the mountains. This whole dynamic, it's the absolute key to everything. It's like you have two completely different worlds colliding right here. From the Adriatic Sea, you get that mild Mediterranean vibe and these salty sea breezes that are perfect for keeping the wines fresh and full of acidity. Then you look the other way to the Apennine Mountains, and you get a continental climate with these huge swings in temperature from day to night. That's what builds complex aromas and real structure in the grapes. It's this incredible symphony of conditions that lets one tiny region produce such a diverse range of wines. And of course, what's happening underfoot provides the final piece of the puzzle. You've got limestone, which gives the wines this zesty, almost electric acidity and clean minerality. You've got clay, which adds body and a richer texture. And then, in some spots, you even find volcanic tuff, which gives these really cool, almost smoky notes of flint and graphite. It's a seriously complex foundation for flavor. So we've covered the land. Now, let's talk about the real heroes of our story. The grapes. Molise is home to some amazing native treasures that are just the truest expression of this unique place. Here are the main players. For the reds, you've got the famous Montepulciano. But here in Molise's cooler climate, it comes off as a bit more elegant than what you might find in, say, Abruzzo. And then there is the region's absolute star, Tintilia. For the whites, Falangina does great here, showing off a really crisp, mineral side. But the one we really need to focus on is Tintilia. Tintilia is the very soul of Molise. The name literally comes from tinta, the Italian word for ink, which pretty much tells you everything you need to know about its deep, dark color. It creates these beautifully structured wines that are just bursting with energy, amazing acidity, and this wonderful mix of dark fruit and spicy aromas. It's a grape with a ton of personality. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Tintilia isn't just a grape. It's a symbol of the region's identity and its resilience. I mean, this grape almost disappeared completely, but a new generation of winemakers fought to bring it back because they knew it was the true voice of their land. Okay, so we've covered the history, the land, and the grapes. But now for the best part. What do these wines actually taste like? How does all that story and that terroir translate into the glass? Let's do a little virtual tasting. So first, you'll see that deep, inky, ruby color we talked about, right? With these little flashes of violet. Then, get your nose in the glass. You'll get this incredible aroma. We're talking ripe black cherries, juicy plums, and then a kick of spicy black pepper, and maybe a little licorice. And when you taste it, you'll feel that structure. The tannins are firm, but they're smooth, and that mountain-influenced acidity just dances on your palate, keeping it all so fresh. And the finish, it just goes on and on. And the great thing is, Molise isn't a one-trick pony. Not at all. You can find young, fresh, fruity wines that are just perfect for easy weeknight drinking.
But you can also find really serious, complex, age-worthy wines, especially Tintilia, that will evolve so beautifully in your cellar for years. There's really a style here for everybody.
Of course, wine is meant for food, right? And Molise's wines are a perfect match for its hearty, rustic food. Just imagine a structured tintilia cutting through the richness of roasted lamb or a savory pork ragout. Its earthy notes are just incredible with local truffles, and it stands up beautifully to intense aged cheeses like the local Caciocavallo. It's a perfect pairing. So finally, let's look at how all of this is building towards a really, really bright future for Molise. This is a region that's absolutely on the rise, and it's finally stepping out of the shadows and getting the recognition it has deserved for so long. A huge part of this rise is the creation of its DOCs. You can think of these as a seal of quality, a promise that you're getting the authentic stuff from a specific place. The fact that Tintelina now has its very own DOC, that is a massive statement about how important it is and how committed the region is to quality. And who's driving this whole renaissance? It's a passionate new generation of winemakers. These producers have a deep respect for tradition, but they're also using modern techniques to push the quality even higher. They're focused on sustainability and, most importantly, on making wines that are a pure, authentic expression of Molise. So we kind of come full circle. Every single bottle from this region tells a story of resilience, of a unique land caught between the sea and the mountains, and of a treasure that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. So I'll ask you, isn't it time you discovered it for yourself?